Alright, hey everyone. Welcome to another GoodBobbyCalamari video. Today we're going over a bunch of cards that just came out on Hearthstone. The first card that we have is Gelbin Mechatork. He is a 6/6 for 6 mana, and he has a battle cry that says Summon an Awesome Invention.
We don't know what that does.
Yeah, we're not really sure what that does.
Next
but,
one.
I mean, it could be good because, you know, it's already a 6/6 for 6, and to have an additional effect on that, it's probably pretty good. The next one we have here is Gruul. He's a 7/7 for 8, and he says at the end of each turn, gain +1/+1.
That card seems like it's really good because it's each turn. So if you can't kill it right away, and you don't have removal for your 8-drop, it can get out of control.
Yeah,
At the same time, that's something you'd ever want to mind control. Trade that mind control, and you're going to start ripping with them.
Yeah, mind control tech, really good against that card.
Still a good card, though.
Our next card here is Harrison Jones. He's a 5/4 for 5. His battle cry reads, destroy your opponent's weapon and draw cards equal to its durability.
That card's pretty good. His little younger brother's the Acidic Ooze,
Yeah.
who is, was a 3/2 for 2 mana, and he destroys the opponent's card. So he's 3 more, and he's legendary, and he's 5/4, so he has decent stats. And you're always going to get at least one card draw. It'd be really good against rogues.
Yeah.
It's situational.
What if you're playing a mage?
I mean, yeah, you take that risk.
Yeah.
But we don't know. Maybe they're going to add in more weapons for other people.
Yeah.
Become more common.
Alright, our next card. Old Murkai. He is a 2/4 for 4. He has charge, and he gets 1 additional attack for every other Murloc on the battlefield.
And this is like the win condition for your Murloc deck.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of Murlocs out, you hit really hard. Murlocs have issues dealing with big minions, so this is one way that you can deal with it.
Yeah, the charge
And
really
it's got
helps
4
a lot.
health. Yeah, decent amount of health.
It's a
Too bad
legendary.
it's
That's
legendary.
Yeah, you can only have one.
I kind of
per
wish that card wouldn't have been legendary.
Alright, our next card is Tinkmaster Overspark. He is a 2/2 for 3, and he has a battle cry that says, transform a minion into a 5/5 Devil Soar or a 1/1 Squirrel at random.
So, I actually really like that card because he's only a 3-drop. So if you get him on turn 3, say you get him in your opening hand, you have either a 1 or a 2 drop out, and you play him, there's a chance that you'll get a 5/5. I mean, yeah, you might get a 1/1 Squirrel, but I mean, is your 1-drop really going to be that great? I would run him like in a Hunter Beast deck. You have all those 1/1 charge cards, or like 1/1 other beast card type things, you might get a 5/5 Devil Sword. And those Devil Swords and Squirrels are beasts. Or pets, as Hearthstone says, but they are beasts, so it combos really well with that.
I think the important thing about this too is that it seems to be useful throughout the entire game because it doesn't specify that it has to be a friendly minion. So if your opponent brings out Deathwing or something, you can play Tinkmaster Overspark.
It takes off effects too. So maybe they have Gruul out
Yeah, it
there.
acts like a silence.
Yeah, you take out Gruul. He might be a 5/5, but it's a heck of a lot better than a 7/7 that's getting +1/+1 every turn.
Kind of like a poor man's big game hunter.
Yeah.
Our next card, Ancient of War. He's a 5/5 for 7. And his text reads, choose 1. Ancient of War gets 5 health and taunt, or +5 attack.
He's a lot like the other Druid card, Druid of the Claw,
Yeah.
that gets plus health, or it gets charge.
I mean, that's
Really
10
similar
attack.
effect.
That's a
Yeah,
ton of
10
damage.
attack, or 10 health and taunt. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's really tanky. And it's not that expensive. It's 7 mana
up
for
there,
that
but
big of a card, but
You
it's
know,
not.
that's Druids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're known for getting up there in mana really quickly. You can innervate into this, just get like a huge blocker out really early.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Our next card is Avenging Wrath. It's a 6 mana spell for paladins. It says, shoot 8 missiles at random enemies for 1 damage each.
So this is like the go-to control card if you're going to stack spell power, because
Yeah.
every single one of those 8 instances applies spell power. At least we know that for right now.
Yeah.
So if you have
For
Malygos
one
out
additional
and you
spell
play
power.
that card, you could literally win the game instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Or even
insane.
2 spell power. Yeah, plus there's a bunch of other spell power cards that were revealed, so... I mean, that's just a ridiculous card. Like,
Yeah,
that's like
that's-
a deck. You could build a deck around that card.
Yeah, that thing's insane. Our next card is Death Wish. It's a 2-mana warrior spell that says your hero loses all armor and gets 1 attack for this turn, for each armor loss.
So that's a very situationally good card, but it's cheap because it combos with your hero ability. So if you got 2 armor the turn previous, or maybe you even have more than that, you can take something out that they have.
Yeah.
So you're kind of trading a little bit of your survivability for a little more attack. Yeah, it's a pretty basic card.
I don't think you're ever going to get into a situation where this like one-shots your opponent.
Yeah, that would probably never happen.
You'd have to be winning.
You could run a really interesting deck though with like a lot of taunt minions
and just try to stack up your armor. Yeah,
and then get
that
like
could be
Gore
crazy.
Howl or something and try to one-shot them. But it's a good card for how much mana it costs.
Our next card is Faceless Manipulator. It's a 3/3 for 5, and it reads Battlecry, choose a minion and become a copy of it.
So that card is amazing.
Yeah.
Like legitimately amazing. It costs 5 mana. The only thing I don't like about it is that Mind Control tech is removal and you get their creature. At least this one you can target if they have a bunch of stuff on the field.
Yeah.
And 5 mana is a pretty good cost to get any creature on the field. So there's some like a lot of like really interesting things that could happen.
Yeah.
Like you got like 2 Barons out.
Yeah.
Or something like that. A lot of
each
like
other up.
weird stuff you can do with that card. I like that though. I like clone effects. I'm happy they put one in there.
I like that too. Alright, our next ability is Ice Block. It's a 3-mana mage spell. It's a secret card. It says when your hero takes fatal damage, prevent it and become immune this turn.
See, I don't know if I'm sold on that card.
I don't really like it either.
It's really weird. I mean, they put down a secret, but I mean, after a while, your opponent's going to know that's what that secret is.
Yeah, if it's just sitting there on the field
protects
forever.
you for 1 turn, and the mage doesn't have any class abilities, at least, in order to heal himself. He's not going to heal for a ton.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it comes down to the wire, you might win by 1 turn, but maybe you could have put another card in your deck to make you win in the first place, instead of putting Ice Block in your deck. Oh, it's really hard to say.
Stalling the inevitable.
I mean, I guess you could put one of those in your deck, and then so you have it. But I would hate to draw Ice Block. I mean, you may as well have just drawn another card instead of taking another turn, if that makes sense.
Our next card is Lay on Hands. It's an 8-mana Paladin spell. It says restore 8 health and then draw 3 cards.
So this card is like really similar to Sprint, what the Rogues have. It's 7 mana, draw 4 cards, so you're trading 1 card and 1 mana for the health. So
I definitely think that's worth it. I like Sprint itself. And
that card
I just think
is
this
pretty good because most likely you're not going to take 8 damage the next turn.
Yeah.
So you trade off that 8 damage you might take if you're playing that late game, and you're getting 3 cards for it.
You know, the later this goes on, though, it's that 8 mana really puts you back a lot, though.
Yeah, it's 1 turn out.
Yeah. So you're just kind of vulnerable for 1 turn. Alright, our next card is Mana Spring Totem. It's a 0/1 for 4, which says your cards cost 1 less.
So I think that card blows.
Yeah, I don't like that card at all.
Hard.
The only saving grace for it is that it spells and minions. It says your cards. So I mean, it's great in that regard, but it's 0/1 for 4 mana.
It needs more health.
It
for that card
doesn't
to
do
it
any
needs to
damage.
have like 3 health.
Yeah.
At least 3 health. I mean, the Mage ability could literally just one-shot that.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Bring it
That's
out
saying
and then
something.
it's gone.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, whatever. I don't like that card at all.
I don't like it either. Alright, our next card here. To round off your Murloc deck, is Murloc War Leader. He's a 3/3 for 3, and his text states all other Murlocs have +1/+1.
So that's that's a staple in any Murloc deck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason not to have it on a Battlecry either.
That's your
so as long as
very cheap Stormwind champion for your Murloc deck. I think that's going to be easily the best card for Murlocs. Alright. Our next card is South Sea Captain. He is a 3/3 for 3. Very similar to the Murloc. All other pirates have +1/+1. Or your other pirates, I should say.
Yeah, that's a good card if you're on a pirate deck.
Yeah.
Granted, the pirates aren't as like aggro massy as the Murlocs are, so that card isn't necessarily as good as the Murloc card.
They're all about gaining utility through your weapon.
Yeah, so you have like the Murloc that summons another Murloc, the one that summons the Murloc Scout. So that already you would have had 2 2/2s, or 3/2 and a 2/2, whatever it comes out to be. The pirates don't really have that yet, but maybe they will eventually.
Alright, our next card here is Spellbender. It's a 3-mana mage spell. It's a secret. When an enemy is hit by an enemy's, or a minion is hit by an enemy spell, summon a 1/1 and hit it instead.
This card, I think this card's actually kind of confusing because it doesn't say it's hit by an enemy targeted spell. So does that
AoE
mean
spells, so good up.
Yeah, an AoE spell. So the card furthest on the left, how we know like about priority, does that mean the card furthest on the left would get hit, not get hit by the AoE spell, or like what does that even mean? But I mean, even if it was only targeted spells, that card is pretty good. So that means you're basically protecting whatever card you bring out from any kind of removal. It's kind of hard to have 2 removal cards in your hand, like flat out removal.
Yeah.
And it's only 3 mana. It's not expensive.
That card's pretty ridiculous. I mean, if you have Deathwing or someone out there that you're trying to protect and you end up drawing Spellbender, it's pretty much impossible to kill it. Like,
yeah, it's almost impossible to take it out.
You'd have to just attack it with minions, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like a card that you would always run.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of big monster in your deck, minion.
Yeah. Next card here is Ancient Mage. He is a 2/5 for 4, and he has Battle Cry. Give adjacent minions spell power +1.
And it's a neutral card. It's not just mages. So,
You're gonna find this in Shaman decks. You're gonna find this in Warlock decks.
Any control deck would run that because it puts up so much pressure to use removal on the other cards that you just gave spell power to. The only thing that's the detriment of this card is that it doesn't have spell power on it. So,
See,
I mean, it's 2/5, but
if you ever get into the situation where you only have one creature out besides that, you're actually only gaining 1 spell power.
Yeah.
So that can, it can be rough to set up, but when it gets going, it seems like it's going to be really strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to combo into that.
It's tanky itself. I mean, it does damage. It's got 5 health.
It's a weird card in the fact that if you're running a spell power deck, you might not have enough minions in order to play the card.
Yeah,
to get the spell power. That's the only trade-off I see.
Our next card here, Azure Drake. He is a 4/4 for 5. He has spell power +1, and his battle cry is to draw a card.
Alright, so I think that's just a pretty standard card. It's good if you're running a spell power deck and you get card draw out of it. 4/4 is a little bit on the low side for 5 mana, but he still has all those other effects on him, so he's good.
He's similar to Blood Mage, but he's not legendary, so you can have multiples of these in your deck if you want.
Plus he's a dragon,
mana.
And we don't know if there's something that can
Maybe
affect
we're gonna have dragon
only.
decks.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nuts. Our next card here is Bite. It's a 4 mana Druid spell that reads, give your hero +6 attack this turn.
I mean, the bad part about this card is that you're going to take the damage back, but with your hero ability, that's 7 attack. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty affordable. I mean, it's just a standard removal spell for a Druid.
And this is a card that you can stack up twice. It's 4 mana apiece, so if you play 2 a turn, you're hitting for 12 with your hero. That's pretty...
Yeah.
Or 13
like,
with your ability.
Between Savage, Roar, and Force of Nature, and Double Bite, there's a lot of different one-shot combos you can do as a Druid.
Our next card here is Blessed Champion. It's a 5 mana Paladin spell that reads, double a minion's attack.
So, I don't know if I'm sold on this card, just because it costs 5 mana. Yeah. It's kind of very, very situational.
It's essentially just Wind Fury, really. I mean, you can't split up your attacks, but it's the same concept.
And it's a lot more mana.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for the Paladin, not for the Shaman. But, still, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. Next card here is Bloodsail Corsair. It's a 1/2 for 1, and it reads Battle Cry. Remove 1 durability from your opponent's weapon.
I think the only reason why this card would be useful is because it's a pirate, and it combos with those other pirate cards. But I don't even know if I'd play it even in a pirate deck.
Yeah,
that's so situational. Like the only thing that comes to mind is maybe you could take off Gorehowl, because it only has 1 durability.
Yeah,
but it's just like really not that impressive to me.
You know, the more equipment cards that start coming in, like Gladiator's Longbow, I think this would be really good against.
It's just you're saving that in your hand the entire time if you draw it. Like you can't play it.
Yeah, it's kind of.
So you get it. Yeah, I don't think the card's very good.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it really. The last card for this video is Counterspell. It's a 3 mana Mage spell, and it's a secret card that reads, when an opponent casts a spell, counter it.
So I think, like almost every single mage, whether aggro or control, would play Counterspell. Like I don't understand why you would never not use Counterspell. And in addition, combos with Spellbreaker, because they're different types of secrets, and they almost do the exact same thing. Like they're very similar. Yeah, Spellbender, that's what. Yeah, this one counters stuff like like, well, Force of Nature again, or like buffs they put on their guys. I mean, it has so many different applications
Yes.
that you're making them burn. And if you have that big minion out again, you have Spellbreaker out, and then you have Counterspell out, or Spellbender. Spellbreaker is a different card. Spellbender. You have Spellbender and Counterspell out. That's so much removal that you're stopping.
Yeah.
And Counterspell also stops AoE effect. It counters any spell. So, if you have a bunch of guys out, it counters the AoE effect. So you're making your opponent guess whether or not that's what you put down. And if that's what you put down, they might have to try to pop up a spell before that to make sure it doesn't get counterspelled.
I think playing it against mages, it's going to be pretty scary once all the cards start coming in.
Yeah.
They seem like they have so many tricks between, Polymorph, Counterspell. They have all those freezes, Blizzard.
Yeah. Counterspell
It's going to just be very frustrating. I'd like to thank you all for watching. We're going to be putting up more videos reviewing some of these cards. Check them out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GoodBobbyCalamari, and check out our website, GoodBobbyCalamari.com. Thanks for watching.
That was very professional, White.
Thanks.